I couldn't breathe for a second. What the fuck is up? My name is Aklia Reigns, and you're watching my channel today. Listen, today I'm going to be reacting to now tell me if y'all would like me to do one person can say this because I know one person's gonna comment, at least one person. Tell me, should I do my bootleg reactions again, or should I just react without you guys seeing it and just link it below? Because I feel like either one is fine with me.
It's awesome. I bet it is. They were created with you guys in mind.
But I would like for you guys to tell me which one you prefer, because I don't care either way. Yeah.
They already knew that Shibuya and the five of us would be transported to the future.
Today, I'm reacting to my baby daddy. I'm just playing. But I really do like Tyler, the Creator. His Before They Were Famous. Because I feel like I haven't seen this one and I want to see it. So, here we go.
Cover next in the comments down below. Let's get into this video. And I can't believe the first time I did a video on Tyler, it was back in 2015. Time flies. Tyler Gregory Okonma was born on March 6, 1991 in Los Angeles, California. Although Tyler has adopted Boulder, Colorado as his second birthplace. He's even awarded himself the key to the city. And if you're wondering why Boulder,
what was it like growing up in these streets?
Sick. A lot of drugs, a lot of mess, hard times.
Tyler's father was completely absent in his life, leaving Tyler alone with his mother. Now, his mother says that the two met once at 12 years old, but Tyler doesn't remember the interaction if it happened. He references his father in much of his music, most notably on the song Answer. But his mother, she played a larger role in his upbringing, and she's actually half Canadian, so shout out to her. Now, his mom would play some jazz music around the house, which inspired Tyler to dive more into the genre later on. Tyler bounced between Ladera Heights and Hawthorne, California. He was always interested in creating things. At the age of 7, he was spending his birthday money on albums, and he would replace the album's artwork for his favorite CDs with artwork of his own imaginary albums. Now, he would even include track lists and song lengths. I guess he was executive producing before he even made a full song on his own. But he would write down rhymes in his notebooks at that age. Now, some of his early influences were the Black Eyed Peas, their first album, not sure if he means like their first album with Fergie or without her, also Eminem, Dr. Dre's 2001, and he claims to have even thought he was a young Usher at one point in time. Tyler was part of the gifted and talent enrichment program at his elementary school. He was one of 7 kids in the class, but it was also around that time that he saw a therapist for a short period of time. He told the New York Times, "I made lists of who I wanted to torture and kill in the class. I was a really smart kid, so they didn't understand. There was 7 kids in there, and I was one of them. It was just such a contradiction." At one point, he was taking Ritalin, but it interfered with his asthma medication, so he stopped.
Wait, I'm shook. So he said that he made a list of the 7 kids he would like to torture.
I've always been unlucky during
In the class, about 7 kids in the class, including him in the 7th. So he wants to torture himself. I just got. I'm confused.
Funny, I have horrible asthma, so it's...
You do?
Yeah.
But Tyler says that music became his true form of therapy. At the age of 12, he started to make beats. His mom's friend gave him a version of the production software called Reason, and he would experiment with different sounds. Originally, Tyler's mom, she signed him up to play basketball, but he hated it. Instead, he focused on skateboarding. He got his first skateboard at 12 and taught himself by watching Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, because no one else around him liked to skate. And his first board, it was a blind. Now, after seeing Pharrell play the piano on DVD, well, Tyler was inspired to try it for himself, and at the age of 14, well, Tyler's mother bought him a keyboard. He taught himself how to play the piano and began his musical journey. At first, he only knew how to play with 4 fingers, but then he taught himself chords. He still can't read music, but when he first started, he learned how to play the first 8 bars of Outkast's She's Alive. And, well, he was pretty excited. He later taught himself the drums as well. Now, Tyler attended 12 different schools in 12 years, bouncing between Los Angeles and Sacramento after his mother moved there. Now, because of that, he didn't have many good friends growing up. And, well, he was a class clown, always loving to make people laugh. But he always felt like he didn't fit in. I mean, he was listening to Good Charlotte and Kenny G, and he loved skateboarding. I guess, you know, makes him... Kenny G's a little weird.
7th grade, they used to f with me. I wore a black Slipknot and Good Charlotte tees. They used to call me white boy, and I hated that shit. Like, why can't I just be a human?
But while he was an outcast in school, he was making music to express his thoughts. He didn't tell any of his classmates, though. He would just post it online. Now, during his senior year, one kid he went to school with, well, he came up to him and started rapping some of his lyrics. And Tyler described the situation as a little awkward. While Tyler's mom was in Sacramento, well, Tyler stayed in LA with his grandmother in Ladera Heights neighborhood. Ladera Heights is
I that was about to be like, so like, who was he living with? His mama wasn't in LA, so I'm so glad he explained. I was gonna be like, who the fuck was this nigga living with? He was a loner? This nigga just, that's not funny.
often referred to as the Black Beverly Hills. Even Frank Ocean, he references the nickname on his song, Sweet Life. But Tyler's time there was far from the sweet life portrayed on Frank's album. Now, he was sleeping on his grandmother's couch with no money. Well, he actually said he slept on the floor.
If you like live in Ladera and any of your shit got fucked up, it wasn't us.
It really wasn't.
No, like that serious, it wasn't us.
It was around this time that he found a connection with some people who he had similar interests with outside of school, including Jasper, Taco, and Lucas. Those guys would even let Tyler stay at their place and cook for him when he had nothing to eat. Now, he would occasionally steal things from cars and sell them at pawn shops just to go to McDonald's or to get something to eat. While in school, his jobs included working at FedEx for a week and 4 days, and working at Starbucks for 2 years. That is, well, until he got fired.
Starbucks was cool because I stole cheese danishes every day. This lady named Cindy, she was a new manager. She hated on me, and she fired me, and I hope she's watching because I still hate her.
And while there may be a little bit of animosity towards Cindy, well, Tyler cites that the firing was the greatest thing to ever happen to him. Not only because he ate 3 more danishes on his last day before he got fired, but because it gave him more time to focus on his art. Now, at the time Tyler was posting his creative work onto MySpace, well, he actually had 3 different MySpace pages. But one of them, which...
Damn, that shit... Hold on, I'll be back to explain what I'm about to say. You know, Tyler Creator is old as fuck, because I had to I had to go through. But that nigga old, like... You never notice, because how old somebody is until they say some shit like MySpace. You be like... Kids today would be like, what the fuck is a MySpace? You know what I mean? I think that's some type of diss or some shit. You know what I mean? So, you know you old when you be like, I used to post shit on MySpace, like, bitch. MySpace? My mom wouldn't even let me get on MySpace. This is just tea. And I don't give a fuck about none of this. My mom would not let me get on MySpace. I wanted a MySpace so fucking bad. That and a Facebook. My mom would never let me get a Facebook. Never let me get it. And my friends in 5th grade would be like, yo, tonight you should really just get a MySpace. Yo, tonight you should really just... Was it 5th grade that MySpace was popping? I think it was just falling off. So, like, early elementary school, people were like, damn, you should really get a MySpace. And then, like, like, 5th grade year, everybody was like, tonight, get a Facebook, get a Facebook. Get Instagram. This is when, like, kids at school gave a fuck about who I was. Before I just, you know, started to, like, you know, distance myself from everybody. They were just like, tonight you should really, really, really. And I was like, my mom won't let me. I'm sorry.
3 different MySpace pages, but one of them, which included all of his creative thoughts and ideas, including sketches, videos, music, and more, well, it had the page name of Tyler the Creator. Then the page, it started to take off. but he just decided to stick with the name. And his graduation quote in his yearbook, well, it read, "Music is my life." Tyler attended community college in West Los Angeles where he was studying film, but he eventually dropped out to pursue his dreams on his own.
Like, I have friends going to college for stuff that their parents want them to go for, and they're not even happy or anything, but they're just trying to please them. And in the long run, like, I mean, what's going to be there? Your parents die and you're just stuck there, like.
But things would all change in 2007 when Tyler co-founded the hip-hop collective Odd Future, which consisted of photographers, videographers, rappers, producers, and more than anything else, friends, all with a common goal to create something legendary.
I was fucking with Odd Future, but the funny thing about Odd Future, when I started fucking with them, I think either were they. Okay. All right. Either they were like I think they were just ending, or they were going to be like almost done. Cause like when I started fucking with Odd Future, I started fucking with Tyler first, and I don't know if he was like I don't think he was solo during that whole Odd Future thing. So I'm thinking that I did the shit backwards. So I was like, oh, I fucked with Tyler. Because I remember seeing Tyler. This is when I started fucking with Tyler. I think it's that I fucking Hate You video. Where he was a doll and he like burned his face. I was in like elementary school. I believe I was like in 3rd grade or some shit. But I remember being young when I saw it. And I was just so... like, I was like, yo, this nigga's weird. I fuck with him. So, because I feel like normal is boring. I'm not saying that I'm the most weirdest person you'll know, but like, I'm not the most normal person you'll know. I'm kind of in the middle. I feel like being normal is okay, but being weird is healthy. Because who the fuck? I feel like that's being unique in a way, because no one ever is. There's never a weird person that's alike to me. Like, everyone's different in their own way, and I fuck with it. So when I was in 3rd grade and I saw that, I was like, man, that's fucking crazy. Then that was a whole, he was a this was during the whole he's a devil worshiping thing. So when my mama heard that, she told me to stop fucking with Tyler, the Creator. So then when I got in middle school, I started fucking with him again because Frank Ocean was popping. I'm gonna speed this up so I can hurry up my reaction. They did the song together. And I normally backtrack when it comes to like artists. Like, I'll see something then backtrack thinking that I did it in order, but I really just went like 2 years back to to where I started watching them. So I was watching Tyler, I was watching Frank, and then Tyler was like underneath him, and so then I started watching him thinking I was watching like his recent shit. Now I was Yonkers, so I was way back in Yonkers. But bro, back to the video. Back to the fucking video.
Now, at first, the name Odd Future was supposed to be a magazine that sponsored artists and covered all of his interests from skateboarding to art to colors. Yeah, colors. It was a concept that Tyler concocted in his sophomore year of high school. But after realizing that he didn't have the funds to create a magazine, he pocketed the idea. It was him, Left Brain, and Haji Beats originally, and he told Respect Mag in 2011 in an interview, "I like keeping shit in-house. I wanted my friends to be the ones taking the pictures of the people I'd interview, which were my friends who were skateboarders. I'd make advertisements to go in there instead of getting ads from some clothing line. The group would record at Taco in his sister Sid's house. Now, Sid currently has a successful career as a member of the internet and as a solo singer. They had a nice place and their parents were very supportive of their art. So the crew, they would hang out there and create. They were sending their music to hip-hop blogs at the time, but no one was really responding very positively. Although today, being eccentric or different in the way you dress, make music videos, or rap, well, it's almost encouraged. And, you know, it's become the norm. Now, at the time that Odd Future was bubbling, well,
hold on. Nigga is aggravating as fuck. The way he talks, I like. But why he gotta stretch out all his words? The norm. Like, dude, why we just couldn't say norm? But I ain't gonna hold because I get talked about all the time about how I speak. So I'm gonna let him do him. But that shit's weird.
Besides, skateboarding and hip-hop wasn't a blend that you would find in the mainstream rap world. Now the group was ready to return to school following the summer and follow their dreams as a side passion project. That was until UK-based magazine The Wire, well, they got a hold of their music. The magazine wrote a feature for their September issue, and from there, well, the press kept flying. Then Fader wrote about them, then MTV came along.
Greatness to me is finally getting my video on MTV. It's on there now, and I'm happy. I finally got my shit on MTV.
Hypebeast was a huge original supporter as well after Tyler began posting on their forums. Now he credits their early support as a big reason why they were able to gain attention. But not all of the press was positive. While many raved about the creativity and new concepts explored by Tyler and the crew, many others were shocked by the content of their lyrics and videos. The New York Times put it nicely when they said in an article about Odd Future, no act in recent memory has engendered so many think pieces about music, think pieces about critics, and think pieces about think pieces. Are the group's
I just think people have to be way more open-minded to stuff. Like, honestly, if people were more open-minded, things wouldn't even be this big of a problem. Like, so many people would be seen, so many people would be heard, so many, like, things would be exposed, like artists and like their art, not just singing, just like art in general or people in general, because people are like, oh, this is that, or this is weird, this is that, or this is this and this is that, and it's like, if you just look and be like, yo, this shit is different, how can I capitalize on this being different and help about it? Fuck. I'm trying not to curse and help someone out. A lot of this shit wouldn't even be that hard. Like, I just don't understand why people are not more open-minded to stuff. Like, it's just not that. I don't know. Maybe because I try to be open-minded, so I'll be like, okay, trying. But I don't think it's that hard to be open-minded. Like, just say, okay, this is different, but that's good. The fact that it is different. This is weird, but it's good because I can capitalize off of this, meaning that most people are gonna, this is gonna catch people's eye because it's something that no one is doing right now. Like, no one gives a, like no one is touching this right now. If people do that, or you look different, this is something that no one, you look like no one looks, or you sing like no one sings, or you draw like no one draws. We can work on it. We can do something with this instead of saying, nah, this is different. Nah, fuck, nobody's gonna like this. I just wish people were more open-minded.
Lyrics reports of literal desires, the goofs of misguided kids. Does the difference matter?
My lyrics aren't, I don't know, I'm sorry if I keep talking, my lyrics aren't offensive.
Are they?
No.
Some people find it offensive, don't they?
Yeah, some people find everything offensive.
There were lyrics that were taken to be homophobic and violent against women, receiving similar backlash to Eminem when he first came out. In 2008, they released their first project, The Odd Future Tape, online. And, well, they started to build a die-hard fan base. Now, a year later, Tyler, he began his solo endeavors with the game-changing mixtape Bastard. He produced 80% of the album using the Fruity Loops production software. But it was the video for Yonkers that had Tyler's name all over the internet for one reason or another. Whether it was the infectious beat, the wild rhymes about stabbing Bruno Mars in the esophagus, or the roach that he was eating. Something about that video, well, it caught your attention. And now it's more than 112 million views.
It was the beat that caught my attention when I first heard it on like YouTube. It was like all over the place, and I was like, "Fuck, I like this shit." And then his voice sounds like this, and I was like, "Yo, it's a smoke. It's smoke dispenser." He done drink, and I fuck with it. Like, this nigga sound like he smokes cigarettes for a living. It's funny as fuck because he sounds like he smokes cigarettes, but he has asthma, so he can't really do any of that. Oh, that's so ironic.
YouTube. Also, fun fact, well, the cockroach's name in the video, it was Nissan. Yeah, that's the question, from off the top. Now, this music video really sent the already buzzing artist into a new stratosphere. He won Best New Artist at the 2011 MTV Video Music Awards. After releasing the video, he signed a one-album deal with British independent label called XL Recordings. The single was part of his debut studio album, Goblin, which was released under the label. And that year, he also made his late-night television debut on Jimmy Fallon. Now, that year, he also debuted a show he had been working on with his team called Loiter Squad.
Tyler here, Loiter Squad, season 2.
The official show premiered on Adult Swim on March of 2012 and had appearances from everyone from Lil Wayne to Seth Rogen. Now, Tyler's career after Goblin has been all about progression of sound, style, and self. After killing his guest verses on songs with Pusha T in The Game, well, his next studio release was Wolf, and that was in 2013. Now, this time, the album was released through Sony and Red Distribution, and it was some of Tyler's most honest and complete work yet. In fact, it even turned many people who weren't fans of his previous work into believers. You got what I said. Now, the album, it sold 90,000 copies in its first week and debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 charts. Following that, he released his album, Cherry Bomb, which included features from Lil Wayne and Kanye, and some experimental yet very musically heavy productions from Tyler. But while everything seemed to be going well for Tyler, he announced that he was actually banned from the UK for 3 to 5 years. He was forced to cancel his string of tour dates supporting Cherry Bomb. Now, the ban allegedly happened because of some of the old song lyrics dating back to 2009. But the ban from overseas, it didn't slow down his momentum. He kept creating. He has stated that November of 2016 was the best time of his life, and referenced this time on his song November, where he asked fans what their November was. Now, I'd honestly say my November, it's definitely in 2016. It's when this channel first took off. In August, we hit 1 million subs, probably around then. Now, for Tyler, it was that November when he rented a house with his friends, and they would record and hang out and just have fun. Tyler debuted his show Nuts Plus Bolts on Viceland in 2017, and his album Flower Boy, it was released the same year to an extremely positive critical and fan reception. Now, the album was even nominated for Rap Album of the Year at the Grammys. Now, Tyler, he didn't drink at all in high school and said that he wouldn't have a drink until Grammys night. Well, I hope he at least had a sip because, the kid deserved it. The album did stir up some extra media attention as well. Because of the album, Tyler hinted at potential relationships with men. And, coming from someone who previously accused of being homophobic, people were pretty curious. Plus, old interview clips like this, they started to have new meaning.
You think we'll ever have a gay rap artist? Maybe one day. That would be, but that's like, why does that even matter? I know, like, if he want to dudes or whatever, why does that matter? Like, why do we care? Like, that's so crazy, right?
But like Tyler said there, it's really nobody's business except for his own. Currently, Tyler...
I honestly never understood why people have a big deal about homosexuality. And I was like, well, you're gonna go to hell. Well, if teacher's gonna go to hell, let her go to hell. But who are you to say she's gonna go to hell? Because I just don't understand. And my mom is like, are you gay? I just feel like, how can I go to hell for something that, like, I was a good person this whole time. I was giving back to my community, let's say. Being a nice person, genuinely nice to everyone. I was praying. Being a holy ass bitch. But I'm gonna go to hell. And then everyone is so consumed and wrapped up upon this, you don't even see the person anymore. And it's like, can we just see this person as person, not their sexuality? So I understand what he's saying. Like, if there's a gay rapper, bruh, and you a dude, be a gay rapper and be a dude. I'm here for it. If you're a girl, bitch. Oh God. Alright, we back. So fix the pinky. I thought it was bleeding, but it's not. So the rest of my fingers are straight.
Early tomorrow morning, the first
Fix a motherfucking pinky. I'm gonna just take them off. Have it grow back like a week, and then I'm probably gonna get my cousin Nautica to do my nails. Or I will.
I have to protect everyone. Till we can all return.
Clear nails, you know.
I have to protect everyone, right? That's right.
That's all that matters.
The robot will be taken away. I won't accept that, though. I won't let it happen. With the string puppet's power,
Anyway.
my power.
But yeah,
Kill them all.
I just don't think it should be that big of a deal. I feel like we should just focus on people being people.
Justice.
Because if God is going to judge us, then He's going to judge us. I don't need 8,000 million people judging me before I get there. Because half of these bitches be having a whole glass house, be throwing stones, and I'm just like, I don't understand why you're not checking your fucking surroundings to see if you got stones where you live at.
Is continuing to push himself creatively in all avenues of his life. He is about to release his new album, Igor. He has his flagship store on Fairfax in LA. He runs a yearly festival that has had big name acts like Kanye and Chance the Rapper perform at. And he is continuing to excel in all avenues from directing to soundtracks to films. And, well, we have a feeling that whatever Tyler puts his hands on, well, it'll turn into gold. As for the rest of the story,
Well, you know the story because that's before they were famous. So, anyway, I'm so happy for him.
I want to lose this incomplete body and
Oh,
steal materials this
bitch.
time from humans before the pandemic. The chance of success should be high.
That's right. There's no doubt our plan is going to be on the first page of all the new history books about our comrades. Speaking of which, do you think using those forms is really that effective? Just
That's
take
the
a look at
meat.
I think a smiling and stylish form like this is more appropriate.
Like I would take
But they got a whole
suggestion from you. What do you
dent in my nail. So I'm gonna have to let this grow out. I might not even have nails for graduation the way this looking. I mean, it's fine with me either way. But I hope you guys are having a great day. Oh my God. I saw Igor. I liked Igor. I liked the album. My brother Jaden did not like the album. He said it was dumb. He said the only the song he liked 2 songs. It was Earthquake and something else. I feel like if you would have looked at the album I looked at the album when I hear people's albums or listen to people's albums. I try to take in like everything. So I try to take in like the beat, what they're saying, the melodies, like a lot into the album because I don't know what you're going for in your album and I don't want to not understand it. You know what I mean? I try not to like be too terrible about it. Like Kanye's album that everybody thought was trash, I thought it was trash before I listened to it the second time. The second time I listened to the album, it was less trash than the first time I listened to the album, but that got nothing to do with Igor. Anyways, I listened to Igor the first time and I was kind of upset in the beginning. And then throughout the album, I started to like it. I really hurt my pinky. But throughout the album, I started to like it. It was like, I might have to take these nails off. I'm gonna start taking these nails off.
Once Musa makes contact with the revisions,
Boy, oh boy.
once negotiated, we'll activate the string puppets. Secure Musa.
But I started to like the album the more I started listening to the album. Kept listening to the album. The first time, like the first 2 songs, I was confused. So then I thought, and I was like, because the album wasn't songs. Like it wasn't like he was singing throughout this whole album. Some of the album was just beats. So I was thinking what he was going for was beats. Like if you were looking for it in the whole traditional album, then of course you wouldn't like it. Of course it would be trash. But if you were looking at it like in a different way, I feel like you would like the album. Just with the same way with the whole Kanye thing. I feel like you have to look at it in a different way to understand the artist's music. But I don't know. Anyway, I'm Cleo Rains, and I'll see you when I see you. You're gonna see me in the next video, and that's some motherfucking rap. Bye.